Guantanamo Bay, they still have plenty of inmates in there. I think it's around 70 or 87 or so. I've got a stack of paperwork that has to do with each inmate, which I don't believe you can find available online anymore. But you know, this is a lab. These people are, they're the lab experiments. I don't want to call them lab rats because they're not rats. They're decent people, and they were turned in for a bounty. So that's how capital control works. You can get anybody to turn anybody in if you pay them enough, right? You have to corrupt the person first, because if the person is pure, then they won't be taking that bribe. But if the person has an element of corruption and they're hungry enough, you can usually get them, pay them, or at least convince them to think that they're doing the right thing and turn in their brother. And that's what happened to a lot of people in Guantanamo Bay. How have they been compensated? Well, I guess we'll never know. I mean, apparently other people in other countries don't have rights, and oh, that's not going to create enemies, by the way. And when it creates enemies, you know, we're going to point our fingers at them and say they're the bad guy. You know, it's like if you have a baby, right, and you start smacking the crap out of the baby, right, every single morning, right, and the baby grows up and becomes deformed. Right? He can't think because his brain is bruised because you beat him. Well, what happens if somebody comes along and they instruct that baby on why exactly their brain is deformed? Do you think that baby has a right to be angry? Do you think that baby has a right to attack you? That, which is now a grown adult. Do you think that adult has a right to attack you? Well, whether you think he has a right or not is another question. The real question is, did you do something wrong? And as long as you're going to sit and deny the fact that you, the United States of America, and this military, and the ruling classes that have carried out these orders onto the military, if they're not going to admit what they've done is wrong, then we're going to have more enemies. And perhaps that's what they want. So with Guantanamo, you know, they got these guys in here, they're experimenting on them, they're using their brain, and they want to basically do information to find out how they can adjust people's thought processes, how they can adjust certain cultures to fit into the Western shit system. The Western imperial shit system, you see it trying to spread its wings everywhere. You see how they get other people in other countries and they bring them into their own culture, like classical music and Shakespeare and these kinds of things. And they look for those individuals that are interested in these English studies. And they say, oh, look at this person. He's from here, but he's interested in the English studies. So they're continuously trying to promote this European order, and some people call it the international order. I called the President Barack Obama saying international order the other day. We commonly refer it to as the New World Order or the Novus Ordo Seclorum. But with Guantanamo, it's all part of the process as far as being able to study people's brains, figure out how they can use the content from the internet to be able to change the way that those people's brains thinks. And you have a library in Guantanamo Bay that consists of all Western books, Harry Potter and these things. So it's that psychological warfare that they're continuously carrying out. They say, well, we just have them locked up, we're just waiting for this, but it's psychological warfare that they're using against these individuals. And it's pretty easy when you put somebody in such a dire situation where they don't have anything, to give them some books to read, and you can slowly try to brainwash them into believing that your philosophy is okay and you haven't done anything wrong. But I think it's funny because, you know, they did say that the nature books over there are popular. Well, you know, that doesn't come to much of a surprise considering the fact that these guys have been in prison for over 10 years and they don't have any nature around them. I mean, you know, it's like we do all this, we spend all this tax money to do all these experiments on all these people, and this is what we come up with. oh wow, they're really interested in nature books. So, you know, I just thought that was hilarious. And by the way, you know, people look at me as an angry person, but I want them to know that I go to sleep laughing at night.